Hello all, I am Maria Petrashko from the news agency. The most important thing is to make a promise. EU officials' favorite tactic at work again. European Commission promises EU membership to Ukraine once more. How will joining a union of similar crisis economies help to overcome the crisis? Why? What will this give? No answers were given. They run by inertia, let them run. And in order to never fulfill this promise, Euro officials set Kiev an impossible task of fighting corruption. The situation has hit Kiev regime hard, prompting Ukrainian journalists to investigate, claiming their own involvement in corruption. You won't argue, will you? Transport company Stark Logistics, partially owned by the husband of the Prime Minister of Estonia, Kaja Kallas, Avra Halaku, continued to do business with Russia during the war in Ukraine. Despite the criticism of the Prime Minister of companies doing business with Russia, where did Kaja Kallas get 350,000 euros on credit for her husband's company? We are talking about the same Estonian Prime Minister Kallas, who announced the work on the 12th package of sanctions the day before, although she could have dealt with real problems in her own country. Estonians, in pursuit of earnings, bring everything lying badly to scrap metal collection points. So, Mrs. Kallas, in your new sanctions list, there will be a company owned by your spouse which has received several hundred permits for transportation to Russia in 2022-2023. Even though it was forbidden by you, you subsequently demanded that all Estonian businesses cease earning money in Russia. Else they may suspect you, Madam Kallas, and your spouse as Russian spies. In your Baltic lands, witch hunting is in trend now. In conversation with pranksters Lexus and Vovan, Estonia admitted Ukrainian conflict started not in 2022, but back in 2014, meaning it was not Russians who started it. It can be stated that this war began in 2014, so in the coming year it will have been a decade since it started. Maybe Kallas just got offended that Lviv officials, fleeing from betrayal, stole donations from Estonians from NGO Glory to Ukraine. 1.5 million euros allegedly transferred to Ukrainian funds, but it turned out to be in the pockets of refugee officials. Europe. No money tracking, loudest echoes of corruption scandal, Belgian court arrests Vice President of European Parliament, Eva Kaila and others for bribery in recent brightest corruption scandal that led to arrests. The police were taking money out in suitcases. Well, Euro officials love a beautiful picture. What is the money for? Allegedly, for months, one of the Gulf states of the Persian Gulf influenced the decisions of the European Parliament through Euro officials. Then it turned out that the 1.5 million euros found on the suspects were Qatari. Suspects, parliamentarians from Greece, Belgium, Italy, and other MEPs who have not yet found suitcases of money are still implementing various anti-corruption bills. Well, they have to do something, although the Eurocrats themselves laugh at their own bureaucracy. And in the EU, no one believes in the reality of eradicating corruption anymore. According to the recent survey, 65% of companies in the European Union believe that corruption is widespread in their countries. 48% of the surveyed companies consider favoritism to be the most common corrupt practice. 72% of businesses agree that favoritism and corruption hinder competition in business. If any clear cases of corruption and bribes before, when cash, envelopes, etc. were actively exchanged, this has decreased significantly. Now all this is hidden corruption, which is actually very difficult to see. For me, the most important thing here is precisely influence peddling. And they will instruct us on how to live and which laws to implement. But let's be truthful. Ukraine, as the center of global corruption, fits perfectly into the corrupt European Union. Kiev just needs to learn how to mask bribery, bureaucracy, and turbulent parliamentary activity as beautifully. All more sober look at the situations in the country and the world in our Telegram channels.